Hi everyone, it's Bex. Finally, I'm getting around to the makeup tutorial video that people have asked me to do. As you can see, I'm completely naked faced. This is me without any makeup. So love yourself and love your skin, but this is what I look like without makeup on. Anyway, so I have no idea what I'm doing. I watch a lot of content creators on YouTube and TikTok and stuff like that, but I honestly have no idea what I'm doing. So I'm gonna show you how I do my makeup. Obviously that doesn't necessarily mean that's the correct way or the professional way of doing it, but I'm just gonna show you how I do my eye look. So first things first, start with prep skin. So face washed, some moisturizer, let that sit in for a bit so that your skin's like dry to the touch. So some people like to do their base first. I personally like to do my eyes first because I use a lot of pigmented colors. You'll notice that there's fallout. So if you already have your foundation, your concealer on, if you like try and wipe it away, you're probably gonna ruin your base. So I start with nothing. So as I go along, I'll kind of explain the tools that you'll need. Like I said, I've never done this before, so please bear with me. So I always prep my eyelids because I do wear a lot of pigmented colors. Anything that's a red base color or blue base color can really stain your eyelids, which it might still anyway, even if you prep, but I like to do it just in case. So there's a couple of options that you can do. You can buy an eye primer, this is a really cheap one from e.l.f. I think it was like a couple of dollars. And you just basically apply it to your eyelid and let it dry. And then apply your eye makeup as you would. However, I just use a concealer. So I use a very, very light concealer. Naturally, I'm a pretty fair tone, but I go like super light with my concealer on my eyelid. So I'm gonna do my eyelid. I need a mirror because I am blind. So I have my handy dandy mirror here. So I'm just gonna apply this. I'm gonna try one eye and then I might pause the video or just say I did the other one off camera, just because I don't know how long this is gonna take and I don't think anyone wants to listen to me blabber on forever. So I'm just gonna apply foundation. It does not have to be perfect because we are going to blend it out. Obviously, we don't want something this opaque and crazy on my eyelid. And I get it all over, as you can see, I get it all over my lash. I do go a little bit above my crease just for blending purposes. So you look a little crazy like this, but trust the process, as they say. So you're gonna take a damp beauty blender sponge. Honestly, you don't have to spend big dollars. I buy the 12 pack on Amazon for, you know, a few dollars. I think it might be $1 a puff. You dampen it. Obviously, you should start with a clean one, but I have ADHD and I hate washing makeup brushes. So we're just gonna blend it gently. We're just gently patting on the eyelid to create a cohesive base. This also helps when you're going to be cleaning up any messes, which I'm sure I will show you because I am very messy with my eyeshadow. So there we go. You can see like the skin is obviously much lighter. There is a layer of product on there. So I'm gonna show you one of my looks that I do often in my photos. It is a very dramatic dark eye. So to start out, I'm going to start with a black shadow. So I will say what I'm using here. Obviously you don't need to spend this kind of money. Start out cheap. Brands like e.l.f., NYX, Essence, Milani, all those types of brands, even CoverGirl or Maybelline. You don't have to spend, you know, $84 or $78 on a palette. Buy what makes you comfortable. But I am gonna start with a black. So I use a lot of black shadow. So when I say like this is my black shadow palette or dark shadow palette, this is cremated by Jeffree Star Cosmetics. As you can see, like I'm running low on this one, and this one I'm hitting what we call pan, which is where you can actually see there. So normally I would use that color, but I don't want to waste it. So I bought just a single of one called Weirdo, which is up in the corner here. So we're gonna pack that on. So this is a packer brush, or that's what I call it. Like I said, I'm not a professional, so I'm not going to use the correct terms, but this is a packer brush. So I'm just going to load up the product on both sides. Again, please use clean brushes, but I don't. So do as I say, don't as do as I say, not as I do, I think is the saying my mom used to say. So now I'm just gonna pack this on to just the crease. So the crease is like right here where your eyeball is, like you can see like here. So I'm gonna pack this on. So just bear with me 1 second here. And like I said, because I don't have a base on, like a whole face, like a foundation and concealer, so like that, if I make a mess, I make a mess. I can clean it up. So trust the process. I used to do my foundation and my whole face beforehand, and I used to get mad because I would have fallout. You can see it here on my nose. So it's kind of a pain in the ass to clean up. So I switched over doing it this way. A lot of the big influencers like Jeffree Star and James Charles and, you know, canceled people like that yet I still watch, will do their whole base first. And that's fine. They are probably much cleaner at this than me, and they can do that. So as you can see, I kind of have like a black layer here. Obviously, I'm going to blend this. So that's just like kind of a base layer. It's almost like a starting point. It's almost like the base coat of paint, because we are going to blend some magic here. So taking a blender brush like this, I am going to dip into a different color. Everyone I think knows my obsession with Motionless in White. So I did buy the Motionless in White Curse palette. So that's what we're gonna use today. So in taking a look at the colors, I'm just gonna do a little bit more black with We Become the Night. It's not as heavily pigmented as Jeffree Star Cosmetics, which is fine for what we're doing today. So we're gonna do just a little bit more black just to darken the color and get ready to blend. So I'm just applying it with a very light hand. Hold it like you would a pencil, and the further down you go, the lighter the hand will be. So if I go down like this and I'm doing it like this, it does apply lighter and it does diffuse the color a little bit better. If you're like this, like up close, it's like writing with a pencil that way. If you're pushing hard, it'll be a darker color, right? And more concentrated. So we are going to just blend. It's very weird doing it into the camera, and because I don't want to be weird and not let you see, so I'm trying to do both at the same time. So I might look a little wonky-eyed with my right eye there. Okay. So it's blended out a little bit. It's a little bit more diffused, so it's not quite as harsh. And just excuse me for 1 minute here. It's amazing how your body starts betraying you when you're on camera. My nose is running, which it normally does not do. So anyway, you can kind of see like it is smoked out a little bit here in the corner. We are gonna clean this up, don't worry. So one that I've been wearing a lot lately is purple, but we're gonna do purple today. So taking a fluffier blending brush, this is a Morphe, I'm going to dip into Cyber Hex, which is this beautiful purple shade, and we are just gonna like apply it everywhere and kind of blend it in with the black so that it diffuses. I don't want like a super purpley look, but I want you to see that there's purple. So you can see like it's pretty saturated on here. So now I'm just going to start blending. Now, because I have a black base, it's obviously not going to be as super purple as you can imagine it would be on just that white base, but that is what I'm looking for, because I do want it muted, but I do want it to be still prevalent, and you can see it. So you can kind of see like at the sides it's there. And if you have to dip in and get more product, dip in and get more product. So I am just doing like little circles almost, and just blending that color into the black. Depending on how saturated your black is and how pigmented it is, the quicker the purple may show up. If it's a lighter black and it's not as saturated as that color weirdo there is, it might show up a lot quicker. So just try it out, make mistakes. Makeup comes off very easily with micellar water and a cotton pad. So if you screw up, you can always just go back. So let's keep blending. My mom is texting me. I'm getting texts out the wazoo. She doesn't quite get that it's Friday night, but so as you can see the purple. And if I go to the side there, you can kind of see that. So I purposely like went out further than I normally do to show that you can wipe it off. So just taking one of these standard cotton patties that you get from the drugstore, and this is micellar water. Micellar water is micellar water. I get mine through the place I get my face cream from, because every so often I get free micellar water because I've spent money. So I just use it. But any micellar, Garnier is a good one. Any of them are good. So you can just kind of like sculpt up like that, where you can see like now it's like super sharp. So you can do that. So you see, like I kind of cleaned it up, and see what I was saying about the black here? Like it's gone, right? Just cleaning up from under the eye. And we're gonna make more of a mess. So if you clean up once and then you have to clean up again, who cares? So we're just gonna keep this little boo-boo right here because we are going to need her again. So you can see how the purple has diffused out and it is there, but the black is still prevalent, which is what I like to do because I like a dark look. Taking another sort of blendy brush, but a little bit more precise, I'm gonna dip back into the purple. And natural bristles really hold pigment, just so you know. So don't be shocked when you see that. That's just the way the cookie crumbles. So now I'm gonna go in, I'm gonna focus on the lid and the inner corner, just bringing that purple in. I'm also going to diffuse it a bit upwards so that you can kind of see it, because you're not going to see it. And depending on the shape of your eye too is going to depend on what shape you're looking for. If you have very hooded eyes where you don't have much of an upper part here, you might have to adjust how you do your makeup. And that's kind of a thing that you kind of just learn by doing it. And I make a joke at work all the time that if I've tried something new, I'm like, I might look like a clown today because I'm trying something new. So that's the best thing about makeup, is that you get to try it over and over again and do what you want to do. And as everyone knows, I do have ADHD, so I ramble. I also have anxiety, so when I'm anxious and my ADHD kicks in, I talk a lot. So if I'm blabbering on, just hit mute. So I went a little too crazy with the cleaning up there. I like it a little bit more blended out, but we are going to be adding more to it. So when you're kind of happy with what you see, and I'm kind of happy with what I see, I'm just going to clean up the corner just a bit because that's a little too crazy for me. I'm just going to go a little crazier here. And we are going to layer stuff on. So if it doesn't look perfect right now, that's okay. We have ways of hiding things. So yeah, so you can see there's purple, you can see that there's black. As I've said many times, I really like the emphasis on black because that is just who I am. So we're gonna put this away for right now. I'm gonna put the cover on it. And then we're gonna dip into that color I was mentioning, that Hearst color. That is like my favorite black. It's right there. You can really see the silver of where the product is gone. So I am now taking, I don't know what kind of brush this is. This is a Morphe Jeffree Star JS6. So it is a natural bristle and it's pretty chiseled and it's pretty much like very precision based. I strictly just use this one for Hearst. So like I said, I really don't know the names of the products and what their official capacities are, but as you can see, very black, very pigmented. So then what I do is I just push down in the corner because I like my corner insanely dark. So like I said, when you did it, if it's not perfect, you can blend it the way you want. So like I said, I went a little crazy and I did the shape a little bit too severe for my liking. So now I'm just like pushing color in there and making it smoky like I like. Like I said, everyone's eye shape is different. Everyone's comfort level is going to be different. Some people won't want this smoky or won't want this intense, which is fine. But we're here just kind of playing around. And I do push it fairly far onto the lid, about halfway. You can still see there's purple, but it's mostly black, and that is a Bex look. So you can clean up in between if you want. So we are cleaning. So then one of the best ways to cover up any mistakes or things that you don't like about it is with shimmers. So I like to do a black shimmer on my shape, on my lid as well, and then we're gonna do a lighter color in here. So we are going to take Angel of Death, which is the second one in. I do have it in a single in that little palette. Because of my fingernails, it can be hard to get my finger in there because we're gonna use our finger to apply that. It's getting kind of hard to do it there. So I'm going to take my single and do it that way. So I just take my middle finger, literally, ooh, I'm covered in makeup. My middle finger here, I just gently rub it in, like barely touching it. These are very pigmented, so you don't need a lot. So there's that there. And then taking a look at my mirror, I'm going to focus on the lid, the corner, outer corner, I should say, outer corner and lid only. I don't take it up high. I don't like sparkle everywhere just because I don't know why. But for the sake of this conversation, we'll do that. Okay. So you can kind of see that the black's there. It's sparkly. It covers a lot of sins. Your finger does really great coverage. It's very heavily packed in if you use your finger because obviously there's a lot of surface area and it's a flat surface as opposed to a brush. So keep that in mind as you apply it. Okay, so there's that. So it's sparkly. Do I like it? I mean, I'm only doing one take of this. If I was really picky, I might redo it because I'm not like a huge fan of it, but we can always make changes to it. So I'm kind of feeling I covered up a bit of the purple, which if you have makeup like I do, that's okay. So this is Bloodlust, which is a purple palette by Jeffree. So there's a lot of great purples here. I'm just going to add this color here called Vivid Mood and add more purple. Like I said, I love Motionless in White. I've never used Curse Cosmetics until that palette came out, so I don't have a lot of experience using their colors. They aren't quite as pigmented as Jeffree Stars, so it's a work in progress to get used to it. So I'm going to cheat and use some of the products that I know how to use and work well for me. So I'm just gonna dip in with this little small blender brush. So it's similar to this brush here that we see here, but it's a little bit smaller. Just as in comparison, we're kind of like large, medium, small. So we're gonna take this small brush and we're gonna dip in and we are just going to purple up where I feel I need more purple. And you can go over top of colors and it's no one's business. So I'm just going to intensify this purple a little bit because I do like me some purple. So there you can see it's like a little bit more intense. And we might actually take another sort of more intensive purple in Blood Queen. You can kind of see it there. And just do that inner corner of my eye and just blend it a little bit. So there you can kind of see that. This part right here is driving me nuts, and I don't know if it just looks weird on the camera and if I'll like it after I do all of my other stuff or not. We will find out. So there it is there. We're already at 20 minutes. Oh my goodness, I didn't realize it takes this long to do my makeup. So now we're gonna add some purple shimmer to bring the look together. There is not, unfortunately, I think when they made this palette, they thought of, they had to have so many different colors, so it's not really a good color story. I will say that Hollow Point right here and Porcelain are gorgeous shimmers, but Porcelain's obviously white, and Hollow Points goes like a blue-green reflective, which I'm not really looking to do today. So we're just gonna pop her down for a minute, and we're just gonna go back to Bloodlust, and we're going to dip into Take the Crown here, which is a purple shimmer. And again, we're gonna use the finger. I did clean it. And we're just gonna dip in so we have some on our finger. And then we are just gonna finesse it on that inner corner. If you don't have nails, it's a little bit easier to get into the cracks and crevices. I'm poking myself, but so there we go. So depending on what reflective they use in it, it could come across as more silvery, more white, more gold. It really depends what kind of shimmer that they're using. This one is more white based, which is okay. So yeah, there's that. So I can't see the forest because of all the trees, as they say, so I don't really know how it's going to look with all of my makeup on, but we are going to, we're already at 22 minutes. Let's just go for the gusto. We're going to do half my face. We'll do a foundation and concealer as well. So just bear with me 1 second here. Okay. Depending on your choices of skin stuff, I personally have a lot of redness, so my order of operations might be very different than what you are going to do, and that is your own preference. Depending on how full of a coverage you like, you might not need all these steps. I like a full matte coverage, so that is what we are going to do. So this is one shade lighter than the one I put on my eyes. So this is C3 by Jeffree Star Cosmetics Magic Concealer. And what I do is I just pop it into places just to create kind of a base of coverage. So, and there's no like, I really don't have, I just dot it on my face. And then we're gonna take that same very disturbingly dirty beauty blender and we're just gonna buff it in. You just bounce. If you're of my generation, if you remember gym class with those big bouncy balls that were red and they had like a handle on them and you just bounced around the gym on them, I kind of consider it bouncing like that. So as you can see, this is a very light color. Again, I wear my makeup a little bit more alternative than some people. Some people like to match their skin. Some people like to look natural. I don't. And that's my own personal preference. And that's the great thing about makeup, is that everyone can do whatever the hell they want and it's their business. So as you can see, I've kind of pushed the product in. It doesn't have to be perfect because we are going to be covering it with a foundation. But you can see like I've kind of like not gotten too close to the eye, but also close enough to the eye that it's blended a little bit. Okay, so that's good enough for the boys we go out with, and we don't go out with boys anymore, so we're good. Then we are going to take my foundation. Again, this is all personal preference. Foundations can range from light coverage to medium coverage to full coverage. They range in a lot of different finishes. You can do a natural or dewy finish. You can do a satin finish, which is in between a matte and a natural finish, or sort of dewy finish. I like the mask effect, so I go for a full soft matte makeup. This is the Fenty by Rihanna Pro Filter. I wear shade 170, which is fairly light. So you just give it a shakety shake, shake, shake. Probably you've seen the beauty people just put it on their face. I think that's weird. So I just do like 2 pumps on my hand, and then I take this flat part of the Beauty Blender and I just diffuse it on the back of my hand, and then you just start bouncing like you are on those things, like I was saying, when you're kids. And I'm forgetting to myself that I'm only doing half of my face, so I'm gonna look really, really weird. But if we were doing my whole face, we'd be here for hours. Make sure you get into the side of your nose there. There is going to be parts of your face that crease. I like to crease in here around my nose, so I like to push the product in there. I also crease under my eyes a little bit. I'm starting to get older, and I know I'm probably gonna have to start changing up how I do my makeup, because as you get older, things start to sit in fine lines and you look older, which of course we don't want to do. So as you can kind of see, to this, it looks pretty good. You are going to see texture if you're up close. I've come to learn that what I see in the mirror and what I criticize, nobody else notices. So when I say I can see texture in here, I can see that the foundation doesn't completely sit flat because I have imperfections, obviously. No one else notices them, just me. And probably now that I've pointed out to you, you'll notice it. But anyway, here we go. So here's one half of my face done. I'm trying not to do too much in the inner corner there. We can always add more makeup. You can always add more eyeshadow and whatnot. I like to go down my jawline, down to my neck a little bit. I'm not like a full-on neck person. You can put some on your ear if you'd like. I don't do that all the time, but when you're happy with it, stop. You can add more to places. Like I might add a little bit, if I was doing this for work, I would maybe add a little bit more to my forehead, or a little bit more in here to cover those imperfections that I see, but you don't have to if you don't want to. So this next step that I'm doing here, I am not an expert on. I don't pretend to be an expert in it. I'm still learning it. It's still something that I've been trying to learn, and that is contour. Contour is kind of taking the places of your body that are more shadowed. So your forehead, you know, in your cheek area here. Some people do under here to make their double chin look smaller. I'm not trying to fool anyone. So I stick mostly to here and a little bit in here. Contour can come in several different ways. It can come in a liquid like this. It can come in a stick form like the Fenty one. It can also come in powder. So it really depends on what you're looking to do. The only rule of thumb is liquid with liquid, powder with powder. So if you want to do a powder, you would have to do it after you've done your powder, after you've done your liquid. So I'm just going to do a few little dots here. And then just under my cheekbone there. And depending on the product is dependent on how quickly it will dry down. So you might have to try things out and kind of get an idea of what you're looking for. I've gotten to the point where I've gotten distracted for whatever reason and tried to blend something out and it would not blend, which was frightening. I'm doing a little bit more of a heavier contour these days. I don't know why, other than, I don't know. So I am also going to take a darker contour. So contour is generally a few shades darker than your normal self. I'm taking this stick for Essence, literally $5. It's called Moon Dust. It's a fairly dark and grayish tone of a contour, so be gentle with it. Again, cream, I'm okay because I'm still liquid stages. So I'm just gonna put that on there. This stuff, it does take some finagling to blend it in. I warmed it up a little bit on the back of my hand so that it wasn't dragging on my skin. That's one tip I can give you for that product. I will tell you that this stuff smells like watermelon Jolly Ranchers, so if you are avert to scents, probably not the best product for you. So as you can kind of see, it made like a bit of a shadow, which is what contour is. Some people are much heavier in their contour and carve their faces out much more intense. I will maybe get there someday, but like I said, my contour journey is just starting, so this is still fairly new. So like with the fact that this is a liquid, we're gonna add more liquid. We haven't done any setting yet. So concealing, personally, this is a personal thing. I like concealer here, anywhere where you want brightness. So I also do my under eye, and that's it. And then we're gonna take the same dirty beauty blender and we're gonna blend out, but we're blending out with the side as opposed to that really flat part because we want to kind of diffuse it. So we are blending the eye. It's also good to clean up that edge as well. If you didn't like your edge, that's kind of an easy way to clean it up is with your concealer. Okay. Now, the last sort of liquid phase we're gonna do is we're gonna do a liquid blush. Liquid blushes come in many different forms. We have sticks, the same as that Essence product. They're so cheap and they're so great. We have liquids by organizations like e.l.f., which are fantastic. And then you can get expensive ones like Jeffree Stars. Jeffree's are insanely pigmented, so a little goes a long way. e.l.f. also has one in that Halo Glow with the same as the contour. So I am going to use this one. I'm kind of obsessed with peach blush right now, which kind of goes against what I normally do because I'm considered a cool tone person and peach is fairly warm. I don't know what my obsession is right now, but that's what we're gonna do. So with this, blush again is something that you can put in however you like. Some people like it really like on the apples of their cheeks, like right here. I like it going like this upwards. It's all what you think looks good. Again, like the contour, every product is gonna dry down differently. So you gotta play with it. You gotta know how long you got to blend before you're set with it like that. Obviously, a color like peach is very light, so it's not going to be too crazy if you overdo it. If you did a dark color or a very reddish pigmented one, you can easily start looking Ronald McDonald very quickly. So if you want to try something lighter at the beginning, like a shell pink or this peach here, you really can't, in lack of better terms, fuck it up. So this one's pretty, just to show you that you really, if you can blend it out, you can blend it out. And sometimes you just have to trust the process. So as you can see, it's kind of down there. It's definitely more pink than I like, but we are working with it. Okay, So that is the last of the creams. So now we can officially set things with powder. Some people like to do pressed powder and press it in. Some people like to do loose powder. Again, loose powder, there is all price points. This is my favorite one. This is Wet n Wild. This is $9. It does not come with a powder puff. So if that's important to you, you'll need to buy a powder puff separately. I have been trying out Kimchi Chic. Kimchi was on season 8 of RuPaul's Drag Race. So I've been trying her brand of makeup just to see what it's all about. It did come with this very beautiful powder puff. So what you do is you just take the lid, which is always handy. You just put some product in there. And then you take your powder puff, push the powder puff into the product, and I mean push it. And then you're going to press it on the skin, because we are going to do something called baking, which means you're going to set your makeup and you're going to look like an episode of Narcos. And that is okay. If you are a babe who likes more dewy and more natural looking skin, you may not do this part to this intensity because you don't want to take away that natural shine that is going to come from a dewy or a satin coverage. So you might just lightly dust the places that tend to get oily. Everyone's different with their oil levels. My forehead, around my nose, and my chin are typically where I get the most oil. So I'm just pushing this in. If I was getting ready for work, this might be when I start fixing my hair or something like that, because I do like to let this sit for a few minutes. I'm not going to do that today because I'm only doing half my face and we are already at 37 minutes. So then what I'm going to take is just a powder brush. I like a dense powder brush. You could use something a little bit more fluffy, even going as far as something like this. But I like something a little bit more dense to just lightly brush that product off. So as you can see, we've just brushed all of that away and our skin is now dry. So that means you can start adding powders onto your face. Now, some people do this in a different order. They may not have set their face until after they were done the other steps. This is how I do my face because this is what I've learned has worked best for me. So you have some options here. You can call it quits and say that you're done prepping your face, or you can start emphasizing things that you did with creams and make them more prominent by putting powder on top. So that is what we are going to do. So for where I did contour, I'm going to add powder bronzer. This is my favorite powder bronzer. I have bought this one all the time. It's my favorite. I like a matte bronzer with no sparkle in it. And this one by Tarte, the Amazonian clay, is honestly the best one. It's waterproof. She don't move. So I'm gonna take this big powdery brush because I don't like a heavy bronze, because I do like my pale look. So I'm just dipping in here and then I'm just going to brush it where I did my contour. So as you remember, I did the forehead and then right here. And this is the only place I actually bronze my jawline to create a little bit of a shadow. Like I said, I'm not trying to lie. I know I have a double chin. So I'm not trying to hide that because why? So I might brush a little bit of bronzer under there. So as you can see, it kind of just warmed the face up a little bit. You can put some on your nose if you want. And then I do the same thing with powder blush. If I can find my powder blush. Oh, there it is. Again, you don't have to spend big dollars. This I literally got from e.l.f. I had to like spend an extra $2 or $3 to get free shipping. This was $4. This is their blush in bright pink. So I'm going to take I use a contour brush actually for my blush because I like it pretty where I want it. You could use something fluffier, you could use something like this, but I'm going to use this end, and I'm just going to put it, this is very pigmented, so I'm just going to take a little bit on the end of my brush here and just put it where I put the blush before, so you can kind of see how it emphasized it. I do like a little bit on my nose, but that's about it. And then next step is highlighter, which I don't do every day, but some days I like it, but I'll do it today. So highlighter is just a very pigmented shimmer. It's what makes your face sparkle. It can easily go from light to crazy. I like to use actually an eyeshadow brush. I like to use something that's like very fluffy and like this, and then I use this palette here. It's Ice Crusher by Jeffree Star. Since I'm wearing purple, I'll take this purple shade Asphyxia Frost, and I put the little bit on here. This won't show up purple. Whatever the reflex are in it is what shows up. So I just do it on the upper brow here. So you can kind of see how it lightens, but it's not like crazy. And then it'll just catch the light. We don't really have any sunlight. It is gotten dark now. I take a little bit more here. I like it right here on the outside of the corner of my eye. Obviously when it's laid out and the sun hits, you'll see it more. Some people like to do highlighter. I like a little bit on the end of my nose. Obviously my nose isn't completely done because half my face is naked, but I like it a little bit there and a little bit on my upper lip, like that. And that is the face done. Now we just have to finish up the eye and we can do a lip, I guess, and call this a night. Oh my god, I don't know if they'll even let me upload a video that long, but we will find out. So wing liner, I'm telling you right now, they can be sisters, not twins. They can be cousins, not twins. You're gonna make a mess. There's different schools of thought. You can use a liquid eyeliner, you can use a pencil. It is really what you like to do. Some people like to put a piece of tape. I just draw it and hope for the best. And if you make a mess, you make a mess and you yell and get upset and move on. I personally, for my wing, I've just started using a quill style liquid liner, which is where it's a pot and then it has like a brush on the end. This is the Motionless in White one from Curse Cosmetics, and honestly, I would spend the $30 again for this and the pencil because this is probably the best one I've ever used. I normally use the Epic Wear from NYX, but this brush is so fine and delicate. It's really, really easy to use. I am left-handed, so this works well for me. So I am just going to go for my outer corner, and you just draw a line like that. And then you're just gonna make a triangle. I believe they would call that a scalene, or maybe, or I don't know. You can kind of make it however you want. You can make it a perfect right angle. It is one of those things where, unless you're super up close, from a distance, it's just gonna look fine. Don't worry about it. You're gonna make a mess. Liquid eyeliner is a mess, but it's fun. So that's there. Then we are going to take a pen. I like the Epic ink liner from NYX. This is like $11, $12. Do not buy it at Shoppers Drug Mart. Canadian girls, buy it on Amazon. Like Shoppers has gone crazy. They want like $18, $19, $20 for this. No. Buy it from Amazon, and it's next day delivery. So now I'm just going to connect here and then go all the way. I go right to the inner corner. Some people do not. Again, it's your eye and your shape and however you want to do your eyes. And the best thing about me wearing a super dark shadow all the time is that this doesn't have to be perfect. If I was doing a much lighter look, I would be a little bit more careful with my liquid liner because it can easily get out of control. Now, like I said, I go all the way to the inner corner. Some people do not. And sometimes you'll get where it dips down below into the bottom lash line. I'm going to tell you that the thing to do is to grab a little bit of micellar water on the end of a Q-tip. Don't be me. I literally use my own spit. Probably not the cleanest, but... And then I just tap gently. It's not dry, it's still liquid, so it comes off pretty easily. So there's the liquid liner. We are going to do some mascara and whatnot, but we're also going to do a lower eye look. I've started doing this. Again, like I said, I am not a professional by any means, and I do not follow trends. I am still very much in 2016 makeup, which is hilariously coming back. So, like I said, you do you. You do what you think looks good on you. I'm going to take this little small smudger brush. So it's basically, where is she? Baby sister of the one we did. She used the black. So we are going to dip into a purple. I'm going to go back, rep my Motionless boys who are in the background. I don't know if you can even hear the music. We'll see when the video plays if you can hear it. But I'm just going to dip into Cyber Hex again, which was the purple that I used up in here to blend. Now again, if you make a mess, you make a mess. Go, trust the process. So I'm smudging this into my lower lash line and even onto my waterline. I like it pretty heavy. Again, that is my choice and what I like on myself. It may not look good on you, but that is the best part about makeup, is you can just play it around. Can you do this part before you do your base? Absolutely, but you might cover up a little bit of it when you're doing your concealer and whatnot. So you can see that there's purple there. I also like to waterline my eye with a black liner. I usually use Urban Decay. I don't know if I have one handy here. Again, pencils, you don't have to spend money. Wet n Wild are usually $2 on Amazon. They work pretty good. So I usually use this waterline one from Urban Decay because I do like a pretty intensive black, but I have been using the Motionless and White one recently because I wanted to give it a fair shake because I didn't like it at first because of how the pencil is, but I'm going to use the Urban Decay. So I look down and then I just draw on my waterline. Getting close to your eye like that, some people are weird about it, and that is fine. You can pull if that makes you more comfortable. You do you. So I like my eye a little bit dark. I usually will do it a bit more dark, but I kind of did my steps a little weird today because I wanted to make sense. But yeah, so for mascara, again, mascara you can spend $40, $50, or you can buy a cheap one. This is literally one of my favorite mascaras. This is Essence Lash Princess in the False Lash Effect. I think it's $6 at Shoppers Drug Mart. It has a really nice wand. It's like a really nice formula. It goes on really nice and smooth. Some people curl their lashes. I personally do not because I wear glasses, and if I curl my lashes too much, they hit the glasses. and it drives me bonkers. But if you like to curl your lashes, you curl your lashes. If you have short baby lashes and you want more volume, use the mascara that works for you. I have pretty thick lashes, so, and they're fairly long, so I use what I like. I kind of push it up a little bit to kind of curl it, but not crazy. I am not good enough at doing falsies to show you how to do falsies, so I'm not going to do that, but I do falsies occasionally now. It's usually, I cry. I get upset because I'm not really good at it. Okay, so again, when I said I do what I do, bottom lash mascara is not in style right now, but if you want to do it, do it. That's all I can say. So I have that. My nose is really running. I think it's because I'm nervous. So we are just going to, you guys can all make fun of me later. Okay. And then if you like mess up your makeup a little bit, you can just touch her up a little bit. And what's left is definitely a lip. Signature red lip with purple. But we will do that for you guys today. One more time. I am particular to Red Rum by Jeffree Star Cosmetics. This is a liquid, a matte formula. I think I do have it in a, maybe I don't. I have a lot of his velvet traps, which are a lipstick. Black. I haven't tried them because I'm not a huge fan of a stick. I find that I'm able to do better control with an actual liquid. You can line your lips if you want. I don't. I have to do a whole lip. I don't think I can do just half. So I start by my bottom lip. I got most of it on. Now, as my friend found out at girls' night, I like to over draw my lips. Which I quickly learned isn't for everybody. So play around, find out what looks good on you, and play with it. For a liquid, I do the corners of my lips. That will be the first part to leave your lips if you eat anything, because there isn't a lot of surface area there. So you can do multiple layers of this product. This is an older bottle or older component, so it is getting a little bit more sticky. Usually it's a little bit more loose, but this one's getting older, so it is getting a little bit more persnickety. But do what you want to do. I usually do 2 coats. The first coat is really just slapping it on, and then the second coat is just finagling it. So this does dry down matte. There's no shine associated to it. So you are going to, unless you get your lips filled and you have very plump lips that are perfect, mine are not, you are going to see those little bumpies in your lip. Okay? If you don't like that, a matte lipstick's probably not for you. And just for the sake of this video today, I'm going to put a velvet trap on top. I've never done this before. So we're gonna see here. This is called Red Affair. It's, I don't think it's the same red. Maybe we won't do that one. Which one are we gonna do here? Maybe this one, Confessional. It looks pretty good. It might be a little bit more orange, but we'll do it. Yeah, it's a little more orange. Now remember, with a lipstick, this is not kiss proof, so if you were to touch something, you are going to leave a mark. A matte lip like the red rum that I put on, anything like just like pressing your lips to somebody, it shouldn't transfer. Eating anything oily based or anything with a lot of abrasion is going to come off. Okay, but with this is not going to set, and it's going to come off. See, that's why I don't like sticks. I am so bad at stick. We are going to take a Q-tip and just clean that up. Yeah. I really don't like a stick, but so you can blot. So as you can see, a liquid lip would not do that after it's dry. But so that is kind of that. It's not perfect, but I hope it kind of showed you guys an idea of what it looks like to do an eye look. I'm actually just going to add a little bit extra sparkly bit in the corner there. Like I said, you can add on to things after you're done to make it what you want. I'm just adding a little bit extra there just to brighten it up. But that is the look. I suggest a setting spray if you are somebody that maybe is outside or might sweat. I sweat. I get sweaty at work because it's warm in there. So you just shake it. Honestly, this is the Wet n Wild Count one from Sesame Street. It's a special edition, but it is their prime and set mist. It's the best I've tried, and this was super cheap. I think it was like $8. So I always do make sure the spray's working. Obviously I would have a whole face done normally, but you spray the whole face and it will dry down and your makeup is pretty much in place. So I hope this hour-long video is what people were looking for. Obviously, this is what I do to make myself look the way I do, and you can see how forgiving makeup can be, and it's really about accentuating your natural beauty and parts of yourself that you want to highlight the most. I'm very much into my eyes and my cheek bit there, so it's really finding what works for you. If people like this, I can definitely try and do a more natural look. If people are interested, I will try my best. I'm not natural. This is literally how I look at work, and I work in an office where only my coworkers see me. So it is really about you and what you like. So yeah, there's that. And if people want to see a natural look, you guys know how to reach me. Just comment, or on any of my stuff online, just let me know and let me know what you're looking for. If you want a particular color story, if you have any particular questions, I'll do my best to answer. I know this has taken me a long time to get around to doing it, and I appreciate everyone's patience. This has been a really hard winter for me, so I'm finally coming around full circle, and I feel a lot better. So I thought today, after I finished work, I was like, I think I'm gonna do this today for you guys. Again, drop a comment if you want to see more stuff. I'm not quite sure. I know there's that paywall to see things and videos. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to post a status about it. And if you're interested in seeing it, I think if I tag you in comments, you should be able to see it. We'll play around with it. Also, if people aren't able to see it, I can upload it to YouTube, which I really don't want to be at the mercy of the beauty community on YouTube. But I will do that for you guys. So just let me know. So thanks for spending the last hour with me. It's a very long video. I'm sorry. Have a good night, everyone. And maybe we'll do this again sometime.